Salut, ça baigne? If you don't know what that means, do not worry. In today's video, I am going to walk you through 12 different French slangs, or in French, we could call it argot, and this would definitely help you to have a much more advanced vocabulary and sound like a native. On commence. The first one we're going to look at is ça baigne. Now, when you first started learning French, I'm pretty sure you were told if someone to ask you comment ça va, the best response would probably be ça va, or you can say however it is you're feeling. But if you use this phrase, I promise you, you would sound like a native. So this expression literally means it goes, or how has it been, or how are you? Like I said, it can also be used when you say ça va, but instead, if you want to sound more like a native, someone who has much more advanced vocabulary, it's very good to use this word. And it can also be used in informal situations. So you can say with your friend, you can say with someone you haven't seen in a long time. And so now I'm going to show you an example if you just want to sound much more like a native, okay? For example, je t'ai pas vu depuis longtemps. Ça baigne. Ouais, ça baigne. Okay? This is basically you saying, I haven't seen you in a long time. Everything going well? Yeah, it's going well. So you see, it's a very casual French slang that you definitely need to add to your vocabulary. So now, the second one we're looking at is je me casse. Je me casse. This is really a French slang, and it's used in probably borderline familiar situations or in an informal situation with someone. So probably you're sick and tired, you just want to leave where you are. You can just say je me casse, je me casse. I know that in a formal situation, you would probably just tell the person je dois partir, which is saying I must leave. But this, you can just say je me casse. If you're in a situation where you're fed up, you're tired, you've had it up to here, you can't take it anymore, you can just say that. Let's take a look at a sample sentence. So if I'm in a situation where I'm not happy, I could just say j'en ai marre de cette situation. Je me casse, which is I'm sick and tired of the situation, I'm fed up, I'm out of here. Okay, and I just stomp off because I can't take it anymore. Or if you wanted to use it as an insult, you can say casse-toi, which means piss off or get out of here. Okay, so you can literally, it's an insult obviously, so you can just say casse-toi, piss off, just get out of here, leave me alone. Now let's take a look at the third one. So laisse tomber really means let it go or never mind, just drop it. So in English, if you're speaking with someone and you realize that the person is not understanding what you're saying and you're actually just getting tired, you've tried to explain yourself over and over again, you can just say laisse tomber, because you can't deal any longer. You cannot continue to try and explain where you're coming from. Okay, let's take a look at a sample sentence. Laisse tomber, ça ne vaut pas la peine de discuter, which basically means let it go. It's not worth arguing about. So just forget about it. Let's move on and just forget this ever even happened or this conversation happened. Let's take a look at the fourth one. The fourth is il a ma peau. So peu means skin and this literally means he's out to get me, he's under my skin. So if you have a teacher, for instance, in school who every single time you come late, he's always willing to tell you to go into detention, or you just have someone who keeps bugging you, you can just say, oh my goodness, il a ma peau, he's under my skin, like, can you just leave me alone and let me have some breathing space? So yeah, the fourth is il a ma peau, il a ma peau. Let's take a look at the fifth one. The fifth is Blee. It has to do with money. So in English, sometimes you can say, oh yeah, how much dough have you got, right? How much dough, which is like a slang in English. So in French, we would say Blee. So you necessarily don't have to use argent, because argent is money in French. You can use Blee to sound much more like a native and much more like a local. Let's take a look at a sample sentence. Nous dépensons beaucoup de blé pour nos vacances, which means we spend a lot of money on our holidays. So you see, you can also use Blee, but it's a French slang. It's definitely a French slang that is worth knowing, because I know at least a lot of people love money. I love money. So yeah, let's take a look at the sixth one. So the sixth is bouleux. So definitely you can say j'ai trouvé un emploi, which means I found a job. But if you wanted to sound much more like a native, if you're talking about work or job that you found recently, you can use boulot, and the person will be like, oh wow, this person does know what he or she is saying. This person sounds exactly like me, okay? So boulot is really for work or a job. Let's take a look at a sample sentence. J'ai trouvé un petit boulot pour payer mes études. J'ai trouvé un petit boulot pour payer mes études, which means I basically found an odd job to pay for my studies. So perhaps you're a student and you just wanted to get a waitress job or something. You can just say un boulot. I found an odd job, okay? Let's take a look at the 7th slang. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share with people, and definitely practice using these French slangs. On to the 7th one. Now, the 7th French slang is bouffer. Like, when I think of buffet, I think of a large spread of food, but buffet, this is B-O-U-F-F-E-R. When you really talk about buffet, it means probably someone is cramming food in their mouth. So they're going to say, oh wow, I'm going to eat so much. Like I'm going to blow up, I'm going to buff up, because the amount of food they're going to eat is a lot. Yes, we use manger as well, which means to eat. But if you just want to sound extra, like a native, basically, you can use the word buffet. Let's take a look at a sample sentence. J'ai bouffé à la cantine ce midi. J'ai bouffé à la cantine ce midi. And this basically means I ate at the cafeteria at lunchtime. So you see, probably the person went for lunch and crammed themselves with so much food, which is when you use buffet, all right? And so the next one is kiffe. This is popularly used amongst like the younger millennials or the younger generations. It actually originated from what I heard in like Arabic, and it just basically found its way into the French language, and it's even in the dictionary. So you can just tell someone je te kiffe, which means I like you, je te kiffe. Of course, we still say je t'aime depending on the person you're speaking with, but you can also say je te kiffe just to sound like a proper native. Let's take a look at the next one. And so the next is bordel, bordel. This, you must have probably heard about it. I'm sure some people have used it in English in like Bordel or Bordel, but it really means that somewhere is really chaotic and disorganized and untidy, and it's a mess. So they tell you, can you clean up this mess or clean up where it is you're staying, because it's very messy and anybody coming in would definitely be turned off. Let's take a look at a sample sentence. Range ta chambre, c'est le bordel. Range ta chambre, c'est le bordel. Which means clean up your room, it's a mess. Like, oh my goodness, you come into someone's room and you see so much dirt everywhere, like, range ta chambre, c'est le bordel. So yes, that's what it means to clean up. Let's take a look at the next French slang. The next is une clope. This is basically the argot for cigarettes, okay? So if you're in France or you're in Paris, you can definitely hear them saying une clope. And the fun fact, it was actually a masculine word before, but now it's feminine. If you're not quite sure on the difference between masculine and feminine, please click this video above. Just have a better understanding of the masculine and feminine nouns and how to differentiate them. But yes, in Paris, you can obviously tell someone une clope. It used to be like cigarette, but now it can even just be like a cigar or something. Let's take a look at a sample sentence. So I can tell someone, t'aurais pas une clope? T'aurais pas une clope? Which basically means you don't happen to have a cig, do you? You don't happen to have a cigarette, do you? And the person can say, yeah, oui, tiens. Yes, take, if the person does have, okay? Let's take a look at the next French slang. The next is mech. Mech. This is a truly versatile French slang word. It can be used in these different phrases as your boyfriend, a good-looking guy, a guy. It can be used as a bro, so maybe somebody you're really affectionate with and you just want to call the person mech. Quite enough mech, because it's just a guy. So yes, you can really use it in different situations when you're referring to a male person preferably, okay? So for instance, you can say, il est beau ce mec. Il est beau ce mec. That guy is good looking. So I could be talking to a friend and say, il est beau ce mec. That guy is good looking. Or I could even say, tu viens avec ton mec. I could ask a friend of mine, are you coming with your boyfriend? Tu viens avec ton mec? So you see, you can use it in different instances. And the next one is meuf. Meuf. This is a feminine version of mech. So it can also mean your girlfriend, or it can mean a girl you talk to. And so a guy could say, ma meuf vient avec nous. My girlfriend is coming with us. Ma meuf Viens avec nous. Okay? So tell me, which of these French slangs have you heard before? Which of them have you never heard of before? And are there any other French slangs you know? If you know any other French slangs, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I would love to learn and read from you. Until next time, bonne journée.